In this training video, Ms. Collins is an older adult living in a retirement community. Ms. Collins completed several screening tools indicating signs of depression and increased alcohol use. Based on the results of these screening tools, Ms. Collins was referred to the community social worker.
Ms. Collins, thank you so much for letting me come over and see you today.
You're welcome.
Okay, so my name is Mika. I'm one of the social workers that works in the building.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I was referred over because of some questions that you answered in that questionnaire that we gave you.
Oh, okay.
So I want to just go over the questionnaire specifically about the alcohol. Is that okay?
It's okay. I don't know why, but it's okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to review some of the questions just to make sure I have everything clear. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So it asks, how often do you have a drink containing alcohol? And you said 4 or more times a week. So how many times is that? 5, 6?
Yeah, 4, maybe 5 sometimes.
Okay. 4 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then you typically have 1 or 2 drinks. So what's a drink for you?
Cavassier.
Cavassier.
Yes.
All right. And is it just like the shot, or is it, how much Cavassier is it?
Well, I have these glasses that I really love.
Okay.
And I use those for my alcohol for my drinking.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're about this big.
Okay. And then
they're about that much.
okay, so is it almost filled to the top or kind of?
Yeah, somewhere around in here.
Okay, so
Yeah.
somewhere around in there. So maybe
Yeah.
about 3/4 of the way.
Okay.
All right. All right. And then you've never had any time that you drink 5 or more drinks?
Oh, no.
Okay.
That's too many.
All right. So typically in a setting, are you drinking just one of those glasses, or is it 1 or 2?
1, sometimes 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is 2 more often, or?
Oh, it's hard to say.
Okay. All right. So this is a little
Depends
hard.
how I feel.
Okay. So how often, and you said not often in the past year that you've had when you started drinking that you couldn't stop. So that's not something.
No,
that
that's
you're
not a
drinking.
problem.
All right. And then you've never had it where it caused you not to be able to do something like, say, the next day if you had an appointment or
No.
something? Okay.
Never.
All right. But you did say that you have had it where you need to have a drink almost in the morning to kind of get yourself going?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Along with my coffee.
Okay. So is it in the coffee or is it like a separate?
Oh, no, it's separate. Cavassier, coffee, a little breakfast.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So it's the trifecta. All right.
Yes.
All right. All right. And then how often in the last year have you felt guilty? That's not happening that often.
No.
But what happens when you are feeling guilty? Like, where is that coming from?
Oh, it's coming from the fact that my sister and my cousins, they don't want me to drink.
Okay.
They want me to stop drinking.
Okay. So you have a couple of people who are saying like they just don't want you to drink at all.
They think that I'm drinking too much.
Okay. So they think, okay. All right.
Yes.
And then you've never had any type of injury related to your drinking
Oh,
or any
no.
hurt anybody or hurt yourself?
No, never.
Okay. But you're saying that you've had people concerned that you're cutting down. How long have you been drinking the 1 or 2 Cavassier a day? Like, how long has that been going on?
About 1.5 years now.
Okay. So what were you doing before the 1.5 years? Like, what kind of triggered you to start the Cavassier?
My sister insisted I sell my house,
Okay.
which I loved.
Okay.
I love my gardening, and to move into this retirement community.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I'm bored.
Okay. So sometimes the drinking is related to just not having as much to do as you used to?
Sometimes.
Okay. All right. So, would you be okay if I explain to you kind of what your score means at this point?
Sure.
Okay. So, what we know for someone of your age is that we typically recommend no more than 1 drink per day, no more than 7 drinks per week. Mm-hmm. And so, if you're drinking, say, a 4-ounce glass that's almost to the top, that is almost a serving and a half of alcohol per day. So it will kind of put you at some of what we consider the higher risk end of use. And so we get concerned at that point about some of the health consequences that could happen. I mean, have you noticed anything physically that it's happened related to your drinking?
No, nothing.
Okay, so no issues with your memory, no concerns or anything like that?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
I forgot.
Okay, so tell me I'm going to sit this down. Tell
Sure.
me what you like about the drinking.
It helps me to cope.
Okay,
It relaxes me.
okay.
Yeah.
So help you to cope with what?
I'm here,
Okay.
and I really should not have listened to my sister.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what were they concerned about with you being able to stay in your home?
That I was alone.
Okay.
They were concerned that, I might go outside and fall,
Okay.
even though I have a medical alert. they just worried too much.
Okay, so it really was a lot of pressure then
Yes.
to come here because they were concerned. They more were concerned about your safety.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself a loner? Do you like that kind of quiet, kind of being by yourself?
Not all the time.
Okay, so you're social when you want to be.
Yes.
Okay. So what are some of the bad sides to the drinking?
Oh, pressure from my family.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So just having to hear from your cousins and your sister
Yes.
constantly about the drink. So what kind of things do they say about it?
That I need to cut back or stop completely.
Okay. All right. So what do you feel about that?
I feel that I should be allowed to live my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look at where I'm at. There's nothing to do. I'm bored. I'm in a retirement home.
Okay.
It helps me to cope.
Okay. So you feel like that this is something that you use to be able to deal with the everyday
Yes.
of having to be in a place like this.
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever thought about being someplace like this when you were at this point in your life?
Yes, I have thought about it.
Okay. So when you thought about it before, did you think about it that it would be a bad thing or a good thing?
Neither, really. I thought it would be more positive than it is. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you think would be more positive?
Oh, more to do.
Okay.
More convenient.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. So what did you used to do that you feel like you're missing right now?
Oh, I'm missing gardening.
Okay.
I
so-
love to garden.
Okay. So
Yeah.
gardening is a big one.
Yes.
Okay.
Going outside, taking care of my lawn and my yard.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're like a green thumb. Like that
Yes.
was your thing.
Yes.
So you didn't realize how much you really were going to miss.
I
the,
didn't.
the gardening aspect.
No.
All right. So what's interesting is on one of the questionnaires we asked thinking about change, and you said that you were a 5, which is about 50% thinking about that you probably should make some changes.
Okay.
So my question is why aren't you like a 1 or a 2 with making a change in your drinking?
Mainly my family.
Okay.
Yes. I'm tired of hearing them. It's telling me I need to stop. I need to cut down.
Okay. So that constant hearing is kind of
Yes.
gets like you kind of makes you on the fence.
We go out to have fun, and they're on me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So why aren't you like say a 7 or 8? Like what keeps you from getting up to the 7 or 8?
I'm not sure. I'm just not ready yet. I still need to be able to cope
Okay.
and relax.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it seems that being able to cope with kind of a change that you really weren't ready to make maybe is really what's kind of driving still needing to drink in the way that you do.
Okay. That's
Okay.
quite possible, yeah.
Okay. Which ways did you use to cope before? Like because you said you've only been drinking like this for a year and a half.
Yes.
How did you used to cope with changes or things that made you uncomfortable before? What have you done?
Well, it was church.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
I tend to not go as much anymore.
Okay.
Oh, there were more activities for me to do, and like I said, gardening. Love gardening.
Okay,
Yeah.
so gardening and going to church and maybe being out a little bit more
Yes.
active.
Yes.
All right. So my question would be like, if there were some things like that you could do you think that would help you to be able to cut back a little bit on how you're drinking? Like if you had some different ways that we could find to help you cope with really being in a place that makes you not as happy as you thought it would, do you think that would be something that we could possibly think of that could help you to feel a little bit better about being here?
That's possible.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, and specifically, if we could have something that was like either gardening or maybe like some social connections where you can kind of get out here a little bit more.
Bowling.
Bowling?
Yes.
All right. So, gardening, bowling,
Mhm.
something where we could get you kind of out a little bit more,
Okay.
then that would be something that you think would help you to be able to cut back?
I am hoping I
Okay.
can try.
Okay. So, one of the things is we have actually quite a few programs that we can actually set you up with that will help you to be able to go out. Like we do have a bowling group that
Oh.
actually goes out. They actually pick you up from a bus from downstairs, and they actually have 2 different days that you can go bowling.
Okay.
And then we actually have a partnership with one of our community gardens that
Oh.
actually has a pickup that's similar to the same thing, and they actually have a garden that they use, and the things that they grow actually they feed homeless shelters.
Really?
Yeah, and so
Oh,
you
nice.
actually be able to garden. You can go a couple of times a week, and it actually will have food that you actually would be able to help some other people with.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So my question would be: is how much do you feel like you would be able to cut back if we were able to get some of these other things to help you cope? But like if we were able to get those things in place, how much do you think you could cut back if we gave you something else?
Well, frequency.
Okay.
Maybe I could cut it down to 2 glasses.
Okay. 2 glasses.
And not the glass.
Okay.
Maybe a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if we could get you set up with that stuff, that sounds kind of interesting to you, right?
Okay.
Just at least to try.
Right.
Then you think that would be able to help you kind of cut back how much you drink.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Maybe twice a week and maybe just 1 drink.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get those things in place for you.
Okay.
And again, what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll look at all of our community engagement we have, because we have so many things. And I'm sorry I didn't bring those all with me today, because I usually try to just figure out what people like. But just knowing that you like the gardening, you like bowling.
Yes.
Let me just look on my end and see kind of what are some of the options we have for you, because I know we have at least those 2.
Okay.
And then we'll have you, if you can see, like, how soon do you think you would be able to start cutting back? Do you think if we...
Let's see, what day is today?
Today is Friday.
Okay. Well, I think I could start today.
Okay. All right. So on a scale of 0 being not at all confident and 10 being extremely confident, how confident are you that, say, this evening maybe you could? You said today. I'm gonna go with it. That you could maybe have a little bit less just today.
7.
Okay. Oh, so that's excellent. Okay, so that's pretty confident. All right, so what I'm going to do, the next step is I'm going to create a plan for you.
Okay.
And again, I'll come back for another visit. We can kind of get everything scheduled.
Okay.
I'll bring all that information about all our community projects and stuff and we can kind of see where you feel like that would fit in. And what we'll do is we'll give you about a week of that.
Okay.
And then that way you can see kind of how did the cutting down go.
Okay.
And did you have any problems, and is there, other support I need to come and have for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that sound like a plan?
It does.
All right. Well,
Yes.
I thank you so much for your time, and what we'll do is I'm thinking maybe next Friday about the same time.
All right.
All right. So I'll be back, and I'll have all your information for you.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.